To the video series of learning and implementing Lambda expressions. Before we go to the crux of the topic, let's analyze prerequisites. So the agenda for this chapter is analysis of prerequisites. 1. The .NET version required, which is preferably 4.5. If you have 3.0, it would be fine, but there are some advanced concepts which are introduced in 4.5. Secondly, we have some conceptual prerequisites like delegates, understanding of delegates, and understanding of anonymous methods. If you do have an understanding of both of them, I'd request you to skip to the next chapter. But for those who feel should also understand delegates and anonymous methods, you can stay put here. What are delegates? If I tell you the definition is delegates are reference type variables that hold the reference of a function. I'm sure we wouldn't be able to understand this, but let's try and relate this with a real life example. Here we have a product development company with producing products for customers. Let's take a particular example. There's a support engineer who caters to customer requests. There are also development teams working for different customers. When the customer faces issues, he contacts support engineers. Say, for example, we have an L3 request that comes to the support engineer. He doesn't know what to do to it and delegates it down to the development team. The development team processes this request and gives back a status and root cause analysis back to the support engineer. The support engineer shares the same with the customers. Now, behind this whole story is the whole funda about delegates. Okay, the support engineer delegates it to the development team. That means he gets a support request. He knows what is an input that is required by the development team. He knows what is the output that he can expect from the development team on the support request, but he does not know how to handle the internal details of resolving the support request. Something that the development team knows. Moving on to the technical definition now. It is that the support engineer becomes the delegator. The individual teams operate on his request, hence they become functions, and the delegator refers to the individual teams as functions. Okay, so he refers functionalities of the individual teams. Now, the delegator provides a support request as input. He knows what's the input, what to expect as a result. That would be the status of the support request. And he also knows to whom it needs to be delegated. So I hope you have got understood how the relation between the real life example and the technical definition. Okay, let's go to the next slide where we discuss the syntax of delegates. Let's refer to functions. Doesn't that mean the syntax should be similar? So yes, it is, but let's first go step by step. So a function is defined in the following manner: int, add, and input parameters. Return type, function name, and input parameters. You can prefix the access modifier before it. Okay, access specifier rather before it. There's a mistake there. Now, when we declare a delegate, we refer it to a function. That means it's a very simple change. We just add the word delegate before the definition of the function. So it's delegate, int, add, and the parameters. So as an example, as you see on the screen, delegate the keyword, the type, the variable, and the parameters. The usage of delegate: one is declaration, the second is instantiation, and the third is invocation. Something that's not there in functions. We declare a function and we invoke a function. So we encapsulate all of this as an object called delegate. Hence we can instantiate and invoke a delegate. At the instantiation part, one is create a new object of the delegate variable and give the reference function name. The second way is the delegate variable name equal to the method name. Are the input expected by the delegate and the input expected by the functions should be the same, and the return type, return type of the delegate and the function should be the same. The next part is the invocation, where if you see, it's invoked in a similar way as we invoke a function. So let's have a small demo of delegates. The first one would be for maths operations, and the second would be an interesting one with the support engineer analogy. Operations. So first we'll require a small enum having the math operations like add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Please look at your screen. It's a bit sped up. You can understand it. So we'd also be requiring our obviously a single delegate variable. It's called delegate compute. It takes two input parameters, num1, num2, and the type of operation. Similarly, we will have a class called delegate operations, which would contain our reference function called compute. Compute has the same signature as expected by the delegate, takes num1, num2, and math type, and returns a decimal. So if you see, the logic is coded down here for each case: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We just return the decimal back. Object of delegate operations and a random number for our sake, and instantiate our delegate. See the two styles? Is create a new object of the delegate and assign the reference function. The second style is just delegate variable equal to the function name, reference function name. Pasted a small logic here for the addition of two numbers using two random numbers. Addition is highlighted on the screen. Essentially, we have done the add operation using delegate. Let's run the solution and see. So we have two numbers and they are subtracted as per specification. Let's try addition. Yes, we get the results. Try this demo at your leisure time. Let's come to the support engineer example. Okay, this is the same example that we would be simulating in code. Okay, support engineer. So there is a support engineer who gives support requests. Support request becomes a class. It contains request ID, title, and steps to reproduce with the status. So we essentially create a delegate for this for delegating support requests done by the support engineer. So we say delegate support request. It would obviously send a support request as an input and expect a support request status. Now, in our delegate operations, we'll add a new method called track. The support request is tracked. So this track has a random logic based on the request ID. If it is a percentile of 2, then we give a request, we give a particular status and so on. Okay, so it's just random logic. So we are now instantiating this delegate too. So delegate support request. Support request is created, which would be printed onto the console. I'd request you to please look at the example and see the highlight which shows the invocation of the delegate. Let's build this application and run it. Results are as expected. Let's go to anonymous methods now. So what do you mean by anonymous methods? Reality, simple definition, this is a short form of instantiating delegates. Secondly, the most important part is it does not require one to define a method with a name and signature. It's like just a hanging body which can take the shape of any container. Look at this. So we have the following block, which is just a simple code block, and when it's associated with a delegate, it becomes quite meaningful. Let me show you an example of how anonymous methods operate. Let's create a void delegate. Okay, it just returns nothing. And now we'll try to create it in the opposite way. First the code block, the empty code block which has no meaning. Now we'll give it a meaning. Void del say hello is of a type delegate with no parameters, and the function console.writeLine. Okay, let's try the math operations also in a similar way. And on math operations equals to delegate, let's take the parameters from the compute function there. And then let's also take the logic from there and paste it here into a small block. The anonymous code block, which gets a meaning because of this delegate. Great. So we are done. That's it. This kind of method can be used, anonymous methods can be used when the reusability is minimum, where it's just used once so as to avoid code redundancy. Okay, now let's try and see what's there in .NET. There are some functions which also expect delegates. You can use anonymous methods there. So our support request .find, say we want to find an existing support request, we use the .find, which expects a predicate type. We'll come to that later, but here we are just writing a simple anonymous method returning true or false. Predicates essentially have just a Boolean return type. Cool, we are done. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it and would put it to good use. Do keep in touch at my blog inspireinnovativelearning.blogspot.in. Thank you.